Hello everybody, this is Make It Better, and today we're going to do part 10 of what if deku had a transfer quirk. Last time, we were at the point of them fighting with the teachers. Let's backtrack, because at that point I really didn't think of anything special. With some time to think about it, I finally got an idea. So let's go back to the class where everybody's like getting nervous at the beginning of the week, as everybody are learning that they're doing both a physical and a mental test, pretty much the two that shows on the show. So everybody's learning that everybody's how where everybody's at in the leveling parts. So at the first 2 days, everybody learns are going to a certain group, and then on Wednesday, they just chose to do another group. See, the way that it's going to go now is some of them, are going to go to Momo's house on Monday. Then on Tuesday they went to to another house, and on Wednesday everybody wanted to go to, because at this point they actually want to see how everybody houses are and how their lifestyle is. So on Wednesday everybody chose to go and see how Izuku's house is. So they chose Zuko for on Wednesday. And Deku said, "Well, if you guys don't mind, then sure, we can go on my house for the next study station." And he pretty much asked everybody to be that's in a group message what they want to eat. And some of them are surprised that he can cook and know how are asking this, but Deku pretty much tell them that he knows how to cook, and he'll bring out one of his friends uh, from Class B to help with food, and they say sure. So after school and class, I'm not sure if they got the week off. No, they didn't. So after class, everything was ready. Around 4, Lorenzo came in, and Lorenzo and Deku pretty much asked him, like in front of the class, as they were like leaving, "Hey man, is it alright if you come to my house and help with the food? I'm doing like a study group with most of the class, and you're welcome to come too." And then Adrian came up and said, "Can it's been a while since I've been in your house. Is it cool if I cook?" And Deku said, "Yeah, of course." And Deku pretty much kind of smirked and said, "You can bring your girlfriend too if you want." And Adrian said, "Yeah, let's do it." And then Deku looked at him and said, "So, and you?" Lorenzo said, "Yeah, I can go." And Deku said, "No, and your friend?" And she's actually standing right behind him. And he looked back at her and then said, and looked back at Deku and said, "Is it alright if I bring her along?" And Deku kind of nodded and said, "Yeah, it's alright. I think my house is big enough." And so they do. And everybody got a time to go around 6. Yes, just for everybody to go home, get their stuff, and go to his house. Deku already made his food. And the first one to come in is Jiro. And as she knocked the door, and Izuku pretty much opened it up. No, Izuku's mom pretty much opened it up. And she pretty much said, "Well, hello. Are you here for the group chat, group session?" And she said, "Yeah." And Deku sees her coming in and kind of blushed, but went back into his room to change, actually. And Inko saw that and pretty much asked Jiro, "So are you?" And Jiro said, "What?" And Inko pretty much said, "Are you dating my son?" And Jiro kind of blushes and said, yeah, we are." And Inko's kind of like happy and just giving her a hug and said, pretty much what a mom would do, and actually start showing her pictures of Zuko. And they're getting closer to each other as that's going on. Deku pretty much walked into the room and sees they're doing that. And Deku's like trying to cover up some pictures of baby pictures of it. And Jiro came pretty much moved the hand and said, "Oh, you look so cute in your little diapers." And Deku kind of like blushes, but telling his mom, "Why did you show her that?" And she said, and Inkos pretty much said, "Well, it's nice to have someone to come in and talk." And so Deku pretty much said, "Yeah, and Jiro's my girlfriend." I wasn't expecting you guys to be here so soon, but oh well. and, and Jiro said, "So where's your dad?" And Deku pretty much said, "He's not working. He's just very busy with his work." Yeah. And so they were doing that for about 30 minutes, and then everybody started to come in. Dang, I put them in there, but I can't think of the right way. So everybody's getting in, everybody's getting ready for work to do some studying, and Deku said, "Well, I guess it's time for dinner. Hey, Lorenzo, can you come in? Come out." And Lorenzo just pretty much got up and see all the food, and he just like bring out his special spices and sprinkle it on everything, and kind of like that salt meme. And everybody's kind of confused. And Deku pretty much said it's okay. His quirk allows him to spice up. Pretty much, when you eat the food, it will be to your liking completely. And Deku pretty much asked Lorenzo, "Is this alright if I tell them exactly what it can do?" And Lorenzo said, "Yeah, it's okay. Almost everybody in Class 1B knows." And so Deku pretty much told them that I kind of asked him to tweak it to help you learn the stuff better. And so he found a way, and yeah, you guys will learn. This is going to be food for the brain, mostly. And so that's happening. Everybody's pretty surprised that Deku's pretty smart and helping everybody else with this. It's some of the boys, some of the girls. It's just mostly, let me think. Deku, Jiro, Uraraka, Ia, Denki, Mineta, Mina. Who else? Bakugo, Kirishima, and the two and the two pairs from 1B, and that's about 12 people. No, 14. Yep. And so everybody's like getting taking a breather, and there's around 7, and everybody's 7:30, and everybody's just taking a break and relaxing. Deku and Jiro are like laying on to each other, kind of. Jiro kind of sleeping, but Deku pretty much knocked her and push her up and make her stay awake. And everybody else is seeing this. And Manila pretty much said, "All the little couples having their moment," and some of them are kind of snickering, but trying to keep it quiet to let them have it. And so, Dinky actually asked, "Where's the restroom?" And Deku pretty much said, "Upstairs to the right. Don't take the left." And Dinky said, "Okay, but what's on the left?" And Deku said, "It's my room. Just don't open it, okay?" And Dinky said, "Okay, it's cool." So he walks up and walked into the restroom, did his business, and he's getting curious, as Dinky is. And actually opened the door, and it seems kind of normal. He didn't expect that much, but he sees this orb, a glass container that's holding an orb, and he decided to take it and pretty much like mess with it this whole time, and he actually forgot about it, and so he just like left the room and went in the room and into a living room and said, "Hey, Deku, what is this?" And Deku said, "No, no, no." And he just like stood up, all suddenly waking up Juro, and pretty much like stumbled and like pretty much grabbed the vase away from him and like hold it like a kind of like a baby of sorts. And Deku said, don't shake it, don't. It's not. I told you not to go in there." And Deku pretty much like going back up there into his room, putting it back on the spot, and locking the door this time. And Denki is just standing there, a little shocked that he never saw a Deku like that. But Adrian and Lorenzo know what that thing is, and they're pretty much telling him, "Yeah, we're lucky you did not open that. You're lucky. You should be lucky." And Denki is going to ask why, but Deku pretty much walked in and said, "Please tell me you did not open it." And Denki said, "No, I didn't see a way to. I was going to, but I couldn't find a way." And Deku says, "Okay, I guess it's yeah, let's end the Cessnas here. I can't deal with it, right?" And everybody's saying, why, questioning why, and Deku pretty much said, "As you guys know, at my quirk transfer," and they said, "Yeah, when I transfer the heat, all the emotions, sometimes it's too much, so I actually put in the extra emotions that I don't know how to deal with into that jar." And Denki, "Did you see any other colors in there?" And Denki said, "No, I only saw red, orange, and black. And that's it. I think I see blue, but that's pretty much all." And Deku said, "Yeah, with those emotions together, it's not a good thing. That's more like a lethal weapon. It's kind of more like a bomb." And Deku said, "Like a bomb? Like that thing that goes boom?" And Deku said, "To 1% exactly." And so everybody pretty much are starting to leave and learning a little much of Dooku. And the only people that are left is Dinky, Mineta, Jiro, Mina, and Zuko. They're still there packing their stuff, and so Mineta asked, "So, you said last time it made you sick when you took in my emotion. What exactly do you mean by that?" And they're just like just standing there waiting to hear it. And Deku said, "Manila, your color, it's purple. Almost everybody in this world, in the whole world, will be their whole personality is driven by one quirk, one emotion, and everything behind it. And for you, it's purple, and I really hate it, but it's one of the rarest. Sadly, one of the rarest." And Mandela said, "So what exactly is it, and what do you call it?" And Deku pretty much said, "It's pervert. It's pretty much that. You're the one freaking source that I don't like at all." And Mina hears this, and Jiro, and thank you too. And Zuko said, you too, thank you. You have some of it, but not a lot. So your personality is more on a relaxing stage. It's not a pervert yet." And Zuko pretty much pulled out any emotion from Manila, and Deku said, "Well, this is what you would look like, act like if you only had that one emotion. And Denki, and he did it to Denki, and he pulled out every single one except the pervert, and he started to act like Manila. And Manila is kind of surprised that he's acting, and he's pretty much saying, "Wait, he's acting like me." And Deku said, "Yeah, that's you, pretty much. His whole personality is completely gone because I'm holding all his emotions. In time, he will come back, but..." And he put it right back in and said, "There." And Denki said, "Oh, that felt odd." What? And he started like, "I'm gonna puke." And Deku said, "Just calm down, breathe in, breathe out, and that be your punishment for getting into my room." And Denki said, "Fine, okay, I won't do it again." And Zuka said, "No, you're not coming in again. I'm not doing this ever." So that's a little scene happened. The next 2 days, they went to Bakugo's, and then went to everybody else, and then went to Denki, just because. And so the next week, that'll be. So technically, Jiro had met Zuko's parents, and so Deku pretty much asked her, and this is around on the next Tuesday. Yeah, let's do that. I'll make it 2 weeks of studying. So on Tuesday, Deku pretty much said, "Well, Jiro, since you technically met my parents, how about I met your parents?" And this like after class, everything's all gone as they're like leaving to the station, and she said, "Yeah, um, I'll go ask my parents, and I'll call you on the day." And they could say, "Yeah, sure, okay, bye. Good luck on the test." And the test is gonna be on Wednesday for this. And so, yeah, I'll do it. She goes into her house and walked in, saying, "I'm home." And her parents are pretty relaxed and chill. I haven't seen the whole episode, but they seem like that. So yeah. And so they're having dinner, and she's pretty much kind of saying, "Hey, mom, dad, is it cool if..." And she's kind of like pausing. What should I call him? Are we boyfriend and girlfriend, or are we like a thing, or? And her parents said, "What is it, honey?" And I'm not sure what they call her, but and she pretty much said, "Can my boyfriend come over to meet you?" Kind of like a squeaky voice. And they said, "Yeah, it's so cool. How about on Thursday?" No. "How about after all the testing is done, you can bring your boyfriend on Monday?" I think you guys have like the week off on that week, right? And Joe said, "Yeah, we have the..." No, I'll do it on the weekend. It'll be a lot better that way. So they said, "How about end of the week on Saturday?" And she said, "Yeah, I think that would be good." And so they finished dinner, and she started calling Deku. And Deku said, "Yeah, hello, and Jiro, what did they say?" And Jiro pretty much told him that on Saturday, uh, is that cool for dinner around? And she calls back, around 6. And Deku says, "Yeah, 6 is good. We can do that. Should I bring my parents too, or just just me?" And she said, "I think just you for this time." And Zuko said, "Okay, okay. Well, see you then." And so they hang up. She's kind of blushing this whole time. Deku's just like slowing down his breathing because he's kind of nervous. And he pretty much marked the date on Saturday. So let's see, where am I? So on Friday, they're doing the test. They did Wednesday, Thursday. On Wednesday, they did the test, and everybody seemed like they were all good. A little better than Canon. Almost everybody passed. Not Manila, and not Zero, and who else? Yeah, those two are the only ones that didn't pass. And so everybody getting onto the bus and started going to. I'm not sure what it's called. Field Gamma? If it is, then dang. If it's not, then sorry. But they are getting out of the bus with their hero costumes, and they see the teachers. And Nezu came up and said, "Well, welcome, Class 1A. As you can see in front of you, you are not fighting with robots. You are actually fighting with the teachers. 2 versus 1. And they're all kind of nervous, and everybody's getting paired up. And Deku said, "Well, Jiro, I hope you have a good luck with your instruction, your teacher." And she said, "Yeah, thank you. But they didn't call your name." And Deku said, "Oh, dang it! I know who's coming up." And right when he said that, All Might come up, smashing down in the front of Deku and Bakugo, and said, "I am your opponent for today as a villain." And Nezu pretty much said, and to keep it all fair, everybody will be holding weights in their arms and legs. And for All Might, it's gonna be 2 tons on each limb. And Deku pretty much said, thinking in his mind, that's not even fair. He's still too strong. And so everybody's going on the right way. Right when I talk about their pairings, I know what Jiro pairing was and who her teacher was. I was so blocked on that. That's why I was like, did like a little tangent. That's why I wasn't like really posting anything at this time from the last video, because I couldn't remember what Jiro partner was and who she was versing. But now I fucking remember after I said All Might. So Jiro and I'm not sure who the other guy. Koda? I know it sounds like Koda, but Kota. Yeah, I'll do that. The guy that can talk to animals and bugs, and Jiro, the one that can do vibrations throughout the world, with her earbuds, versus President Mike. So their apparent and theirs pretty much went the same. Jiro did a lot longer with her voice as well, and so I'm a little tired. Okay, back to it. So they're in front now with All Might fight. Oh, so Deku and Bakugo is like doing some planning because they are kind of friends. Yeah, they're friends, and so they're still they're talking to each other and saying how to do things. So Deku gave him a paper, and Deku pretty much tell him, read it after you get hurt, and he said okay. So Deku's gonna do a little act, and this act is gonna be the All Might and Deku versus Bakugo in canon. So it all went up to the same thing, but of course some parts where they were not Deku wasn't really crying on anything, and Bakugo weren't really yelling at anybody, and so everything was like that. He was like, All Might was a little confused on why they're talking to each other like they're like they're enemies, but he just ignored it and started fighting them until at the point where Deku pretty much pulled the pin with Bakugo's gauntlet and Charlotte. At that point, Deku pretty much shot at All Might, and then Deku pretty much tell Bakugo, read the letter and run. And Bakugo read it and said, do not look back. At all costs, do not look back. And start running. And he's like 2 to 3 miles away, so it's gonna take a while. And so Deku pretty much stand there in the dust, and All Might pretty much swish his arm from left to right, and when all the dust came out, and all he sees is Deku and Bakugo's running, and Deku pretty much said, now you have to fight me. And so All Might is fighting with Deku, all good, some good moves, left, right, some kicks. Deku's doing the kick. All Might never does it. And Deku said, alright, All Might, let's see if you can handle this one. And so he's like pulling out of his stomach, pulling out this very orb. And Denki is looking at it and say, "Oh, is that from his room?" And the people that was in his study group is looking at this and saying, "Yeah, it looks just like it." And Deku's like pressing it down and split in two. And so he has two right on his right, one on his right, one on his left. And Deku pretty much said, "Alright, All Might, I'm not sure what happened, but here it goes." And so he jumped forward, kind of like a stance of Bakugo, and put one on All Might's chest and got absorbed into it. And All Might was feeling good, and then start feeling anger, and so he's getting it started affecting his skin actually. Well, no, it started affecting his hair, because in some cases, if you feel something, if you were like into a serious illness, either your hair will fall out or it will start turning colors, like turning to white. And that's pretty much for stress those times. So for All Might, it's starting turning colors. And the people are watching this and they're saying, "Is All Might turning? Look at All Might's hair; it's turning colors like Zuko's eyes." And they say, "Yeah." And Bakugo is 1.5 miles away from the exit. And Zuko said, "Alright, here we go." And he put in the next one. Pulling it in, and All Might freezes up. And he pretty much telling Zuko, "What did you do? I can't move at all." And he's like right at the inch away from Zuko's face, trying to punch him. And Zuko pretty much stepped back and said, "Well, I know you have the symbol. You are the symbol of peace." And All Might pretty much just standing there, can't even talk anymore, with his hair turning all colors. And Deku pretty much stepped back and said, I'm not sure what happened after this, but yeah, you have pretty much all the emotions I've been collecting in this school year." And so he just like kind of stepped back a few times and said, "Release." And what he did was the first one that he put into All Might, it went throughout all the way inside him. It spread out and affected his emotion. The second one, he actually put every single emotion he had into one point in his chest where he was last touched, and kept it there. And without any emotions, his body didn't know what exactly to do, so it stopped. And when Deku said release, it went throughout the whole body. All Might's colors went to green, blue, orange, gray, white, black, and kept going. Purple, yellow, maroon, navy, violet. And some of the kids are looking at this and said it's changing to different colors. And then white, and then silver, like actual silver, and then black all over. And All is kind of like screaming in pain and passed out. He actually passed out because that was too much emotion for one person to take. And Zuko is pretty much used to it, so he put in that. It's like a gallon of milk. If you try to chug the whole thing, you will feel like you're exploding. And for some reason I can think only of that. So All Might can't move. He pretty much fell back in his pose, not moving at all. He can see things and trying to talk, but he's just screaming out. And the bell rang that Bakugo has exited the area. Bakugo and Deku have won the match. And Deku said, "Alright, that's good. Good thing he didn't look back." And so he just like walked up to All Might in this little crater of it, because he's holding 2, 4, 6, 8 tons with his body might went down. So yeah, it's gonna make a crater. And Zuko pretty much pulled out that very emotions and put in the white one. And Zuko pretty much like swirling it around, making it smaller, kind of like a tornado, and spinning it, and start absorbing it into his right arm. And he started shaking a bit. His whole arm started shaking, and then he's just like put it into his body, and he just like shivers a bit. And said, "Ooh, still not used to it." And All Might kind of getting coming up, and said, "Young man, that was a good fight. I can't complain about it." And Deku said, "Yeah, I'm sorry I had to put you into that pain, but that's the only way I can think of." And All Might pretty much is asking him as they're walking out, pretty much asking him, what exactly was that? And Deku said, "Well, it's all the emotions I've been like collecting from all the students, especially Manila. I was testing it out, each emotion, and I found a few that were perfect, but it was too strong, so I had to keep it in a jar at home. But one day it'll be strong enough to hold it within me, and for my whole life, for the rest of it. But it was so strong, it was actually affecting me." And All Might said, "Is that a problem?" And Lucas pretty much said, "Well, with the emotions I've been collecting, I'm pretty much used to it. I know which feeling to like suppress and use up." And All Might said, "So, and with this, what are you going to go? And this, what do you call it?" And Duke said, push, fuck. The F-bomb. I can't think of anything, so I'm going to call it the F-bomb. And All Might kind of laughing, saying, "Really? The F-bomb? You can't think of anything else?" And Duke said, "Hey, it does F you up." But really, and Zuko said, "Well, it has about 10 emotions. Really, it has 10 emotions, but each of them actually mix in with each other and make another emotion. So technically it has the whole thing, but the 5 main ones of the colors you see is seen was actually blue, yellow, gray, black, and white, and red." And he said, "Alright, well, congratulations, you actually passed. I did not think you would pass this, but you passed the test." So everybody's pretty happy to hear this. And the next day has passed. Then on Friday it has passed. And so on Saturday, Zuko got dressed up kind of nicely, like he would go to like a friend's house. pretty nicely, uh, called Jiro and making sure all the plans were all right, and he pretty much knocked the door. And Jiro pretty much opened the door and see him and see how good he looked, and pretty much compliment him on that. Luke said, "Well, thank you. I hope I wasn't too early. I'm about oh dang, I'm 15 minutes early." And she said, "Yeah, that's all good. The food's not ready, but come on in." And so he comes in, and as he turned the corner into the living room and the kitchen, he sees his father like sitting there, and he sees Ejiro's mother cooking. And so he goes up to Ejiro's father and said, "Well, hello, sir. I am Zuko Midoriya. Nice to meet you." And Jiro's dad actually is gonna be more strict and ask Zuko a bunch of questions. Some regular ones, like what grades do you usually have, what exactly is your quirk, and Zuko said, "I'd rather not say about that in my quirks." And Jiro pretty much said, "Yeah, Dad, don't ask about his quirks." And so Jiro's dad said, "Okay, but we'll come up next time." And so he asked, "So what?" And then as he was going to ask another question, Jiro's mom said, "All right, dinner's ready." So they're having curry. Why not? I can't think of anything else. So they're having curry. Zuzu pretty much said, "Thank you for the meal." And everybody says the same thing, and eats in. And they're just having small talk, and Zuko pretty much said, "You have a really nice place here. It seems..." Wait. Jiro, sir, are you guys like musicians? People that work with instruments? And they said, "Yeah, we are. My wife is a singer, and I'm play the other instruments." And he's kind of surprised that he can tell. And he asked, "So, how can you tell that we have our house soundproof?" And Zuko said, "Well, my room is actually soundproof, and it has a certain tone uh, in your house is the same as my rooms, and I pretty much pieced it together." And Jiro's dad said, "So you can play some instruments?" And Zuko said, "Yeah, I can play something." And Jiro said, "Yeah, you said you. I heard you singing, but it was so loud I couldn't tell if you were singing or everybody else was singing in the concert." And Zuko said, "Yeah, I can sing. Yeah." I wasn't expecting this, but oh well. And so Jiro said, "Well, can you play something for us after dinner?" And as everybody was finishing, Zuko said, "Yeah, sure. Do you guys have any instruments you want me to play, or?" And Jiro pretty much like went to her room, brought it back a bass, and said, "Here, play this one." And Zuko said, "Okay, is it a tune or?" And he just like stringing up all the instruments, all the strings, and A was kind of bad, so he just like tuned it to his way. And Jiro said, "That said, so you don't know how to tune?" And Deku said, "Well, actually, I like it a little higher." And he pretty much asked, Deku pretty much asked, "So what songs you want me to play? Types?" And Jiro said, "How about the Imagine Dragons, since those are one of your favorite? Play the song from them." And Deku's like sitting there thinking, what is good with one instrument? And he got one and said, "Okay, and this is a cover from Imagine Dragons called natural. And he started playing. And Deku, Jiro's father actually likes Imagine Dragons and Skill it because she's been talking about it, and Deku's dad, Jiro's dad, sorry, started listening to it and actually liked the songs. And one of his favorites was actually Natural. And so he started playing it, and Zuko started playing it for a bit. And as everybody starting to enjoy it, Zuko started to sing. And Jiro kind of kind of was surprised to hear this, that he sings just like how the singer sing. And Jiro's mom and dad were also surprised to hear this, that he can sing and play. And so the song's over there. Zuko said, well, it was kind of embarrassing for singing in front of you guys, but how do you like it? And Joe said, it was awesome. It was just like on the how they play it. And Deku said, well, yeah, I was trying to get it perfectly. And so Deku's dad, Jiro's dad pretty much said, well, son, young man, I really like that song. It was one of my favorites. So can you play any other ones? And Deku said, no, I think it's getting a little too late. And Jiro's dad pretty much said, so how about we go to the next room and I'll ask you some more questions. And so Deku said, okay, and gave the guitar to Jiro. And Deku pretty much said, well, thank you for the instruments. And she kind of like nodding, and her mother sees this and started talking to her. Let's go to, as the guys are talking and the girls are talking, the girls will be talking first. So she pretty much said, so Jiro, you like this one? And Jiro said, yeah, I like this one. Kind of blushing and like looking down. And her mom pretty much said, it's okay. I think your father and I are in agreement that this one will be good. And so, how long until we're going to meet his parents? And Jiro said, I'm not sure. I guess I'll ask. And she's kind of like nervous about this, but let's move on to, well, let's say one more thing. Her mom said, so how long have you guys been dating? And she said, well, since the beginning of the school year. And her mom said, so let me think. 1, 2, 3, about 4 months. And 3 months. Let's make it 3 months. And you just now decided to? And she said, yeah. Since I accidentally met his parents, I should probably do the same here. And so let's go back to Deku and Jiro's dad. Jiro's dad said, so my other question is, why don't you want me to know about your quirk? And Deku said, well, my quirk is it's easier to understand when I show it to you. And Jiro said, so are you going to tell me about it? Or Deku said, sure, but I'll just show you my first quirk, and the other one I'm not gonna show. I don't want to ruin the carpet. And Jiro said, we're in the carpet, what do you mean? And Deku pretty much said, well, let me show you my first one. And so he pulled out one emotion and said, see? And Deku pretty much played into him. And Jiro said, so what did you do? And he suddenly just feels happier. And Deku said, well, I can take out emotions and put into other people, and I can do the same thing to myself. And that's just one of them. There's many more, but that's the only one I will actually give to people that needs help. And he's just like, you can keep it. I have a lot more in me. And so Jiro said, Dad said, so dang, it goes by that quick. Pretty much are just asking more questions about his quirk, and Deku said, "Well, that's pretty much off for now. Any other questions you want me to ask? And Deku said, and Jiro's dad said, "Well, yes. How long have you been seeing my daughter?" And Deku said, we've been seeing each other for, let me think, 10 to 13 months." And he said, 13 months, and you just now are talking to me. And Deku said, "Well, actually, I've been helping her train on her quirk for the 10 months, and then we started dating around the beginning of the year." And Jiro's dad said, "So why did you start dating in the beginning of the year?" Deku said, "Well, she wanted to make a bet of sorts, or a promise, that if we both got into 1A, we'll start dating." And so we did, and yeah, the rest is history, of course. And Jiro's dad pretty much is kind of happy that this kid is good enough to help with his daughter and not being romantic until it's no needed to. So they're actually leaving. Her mom and dad is like waving by Joe as getting out of the house, and pretty much telling Deku that sorry about my parents. I know how embarrassing they were, and stuff like that. And Deku pretty much said, "No, it's all right. I guess it was payback from last time." And she's kind of laughing, and Deku's kind of laughing. And so he was about to leave, and then Jiro pretty much pulled his arm and made him spin around and gave him a kiss. And said, "Well, bye, see you on Monday," and started leaving. Deku was kind of enjoying the kiss and pretty much walked away. And he just felt happier about that one and started walking away. Okay, I got everything. The next part will be the forest train part. I'm not gonna do the movies because I have not seen the whole thing, so maybe in 2 or 3 series. But after that, I might. The forest training arc will come up in the next video. And yeah, this is just me rambling. Yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys till next time. Bye.